So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 best apprenticeships you can do for the future that pay well, and the job is probably going to be around in 5 to 6 years time when you actually graduate. Now, the theory is that a lot of jobs will become automated. A lot of sort of positions and the apprenticeships aren't really worth doing in this moment of time. One of the ones that probably may or may not be available at the time, or in 5 to 10 years time, is a mechanic's apprenticeship. Now, the reason I touch on this, it's quite easy to get into just on the basis that a lot of people have interest in cars but never actually think about becoming a mechanic. Now, it's gone are the days where you have to get all oiled up and all greasy. There's most of the cars nowadays are they're sort of mini computers driving around. A lot of it is to do with electrical engineering, which brings me to my first one. So I suggest mechanics for anyone that does have an interest in that. These are going to be sort of high paying, easy to acquire, and in demand sort of apprenticeships you can actually choose. So they're the best ones around in the UK. So it brings me to my first point, which is obviously an engineering apprenticeship. So depending on what you want to get into, I would suggest electrical engineering, simply because I know for a fact it's Toyota. I remember speaking to some people that I knew. They actually got their first ever apprenticeship with Toyota is actually building a machine. So their actual job is to build the machine, run the machine, repair the machines on the engineering sort of front, check the software is all running perfectly. They actually build the cars. So before 5-10 years ago, you might actually do an apprenticeship where you're actually manufacturing the cars. Nowadays, you're actually learning apprenticeships to actually run machines or build machines. And even if you look into your local supermarket, Tesco's, chances are you find there's machines there, the self-service checkouts. There's going to be jobs for that. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, you're going to lose positions, people are going to lose their jobs. Nowadays, the jobs are for people to actually sell those machines, install them, and actually maintain them as well. So there's positions in that, and that's why electrical engineering, software engineering is probably one of the better apprenticeships you can do nowadays. Most of the companies will use the same software, so you can move around and develop your sort of experience in that. It's high paying. Chances are once you qualify you'll be on 40,000 plus, which is quite good. Most apprenticeships when you qualify you're in the 20s, so they're really good in terms of apprenticeship. Now the second one is going to be a joint one. I was in two minds whether to put this in. It's actually a legal apprenticeship. So anything you want to do, if you've got dreams of becoming a solicitor or barrister, definitely look at a legal paralegal or paralegal sort of apprenticeship. They pay quite well. They're usually found in big cities. Chances are that most people doing degrees aren't really finding positions because they don't have experience. Whereas if you do an apprenticeship, you definitely will have the experience in that sort of industry. So chances are you'll probably find a very high paying job. Now, joint with that, I'm going to put a banking. So if you want to get into finance or banking, I would definitely look at a sort of banking apprenticeship. Now, there's loads of variations of this. My suggestion would be to look at investments, look at trading, stock trading, indices, those sorts of things, because that's a massive market. Do not look at retail banking simply because you wouldn't really need an apprenticeship. It's more of a customer service role. You want to get in somewhere where you're either an analyst or a quantitative if you're good at mathematics. Those people are paid very well, and a lot of those jobs come with bonuses. So I think on apprenticeships you actually get bonuses as well. So these bonuses it's not unheard of to go into the millions once you become, for example, a hedge fund manager, or you're running small little funds. You get a commission of what they earn as well. The job's been around for hundreds of years. The stock market will never die. It will change, but it will never die. You need to get into that sort of position. Now, the third one, believe it or not, there's a hell of a lot of interest, but nobody actually looks into it or actually gets into the profession. It's a cybersecurity apprenticeship. Now, there's contracts left, right, and center. Everywhere I look, every single company is implementing a cybersecurity strategy. Now, this includes government, private companies, small and large. Now, you can find positions where once you qualify, in 2 to 3 years, You can find positions that are very temporary, but they pay six figures. You can definitely be earning 100, to 200,000 per year. That's without bonuses. These positions are cushy. You can work from home. It's a sort of thing where nobody really has the expertise about. There is a huge skill shortage for this type of positions. If you're really looking into, what apprenticeship can I do for the future, definitely cybersecurity is going to be the one for you. So just to recap, a mechanic is a very in demand, easy to get into. You don't need a very high amount of GCSEs, and it actually pays really well. It's gone are the days where it's going to be, a dirty sort of profession. You're working with software, complex computers, and if you get an apprenticeship with, BMW, Mercedes Benz, you're laughing. You're going to have a good little career. As well as, banking, legal profession, you're always going to be paid very well in those sorts of professions as well. Mechanical engineering, software engineering, electrical engineering, they're ones that pay very well as well, so you want to look into those. And last but not least, as I touched on, cybersecurity is going to be a big one. I wouldn't look into sort of software programming. Well, I would look into software programming, but security seems to be really easy to get into.